Morning, everyone. You know, there are some things that we can only do by ourselves, alone. Right? And other things that we need other people in order to get it done. Brushing your teeth, for example. Right? I don't want or need anyone to help me brush my teeth. It's not yet. On the other hand, if I want to play catch, right, I need somebody else to do it with, right? I can't play catch by myself. And there's some things that we can either do by ourselves, alone, or with others. For example, playing cards. I can play a game of solitaire by myself, or I can play poker or some other game with other people. And another one of those things that we can do either alone or with others is prayer. Right? I mean, we are all gathered in this chapel this morning to pray together. Right? And Jesus says in the Gospel we've heard, whenever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. And that is never more true than in the holy sacrifice of the Mass. When we know that simple bread and wine and the table in the basket chapel will become the body and blood of Christ. And when we share in that sacred meal, we have the most intimate encounter with the Lord that is possible. But we can also pray alone, by ourselves. I mean, I take time, multiple times each day, to pray by myself. Sometimes a short prayer, sometimes a longer prayer. Already this morning, I prayed morning prayer, right, by myself at home. I know many of you gather in the chapel and pray morning prayer together before Mass. My routine is I pray morning prayer first thing when I wake up, right, alone. Except never really alone when we pray. Because in the church we have the communion of saints. The saints who are always with us and eager to pray with us. Today we celebrate the feast of St. Maximilian Kolbe. Maximilian Kolbe was an amazing man. Right? Many of you may know his story. He was a Polish priest, a Franciscan, during World War II. And he was arrested by the Nazis. Actually, arrested a couple of times by the Nazis. But the last time he was arrested, they sent him to the death camp at Auschwitz. And one morning, the Nazi guards at the camp randomly selected 10 of his fellow prisoners. 10 men to be sentenced to death. To die an excruciating, painful death by starvation. And one of those men was a family man. He had a wife and children. And Maximilian Kolbe volunteered to take his place so that that man could live and be with his family. So Maximilian Kolbe died a martyr's death in that horrible way. And the man whose life he saved didn't even know him. But he was present for his canonization many years later. And this morning, as I was praying my morning prayer, I invoked the prayers of Maximilian Kolbe. I asked his intercession. And truth be told, he's one of my go-to saints. I love Maximilian Kolbe. I ask his intercession pretty much every day. And there are others that I go to regularly that I know I can count on, and I'm sure the same is true for you. So Jesus tells us that whenever 2 or 3 are gathered in prayer, I am there with them. And we can do that every day, even if we are praying by ourselves. Because when we invoke the prayers of the saints, when we ask their intercession, they are there with us, praying with us. And we can join our prayers to the prayers of the saints, and we can rest assured that when we pray with the saints, 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, and Jesus is with us.